Hello everyone, it's Brian, and today I'm going to be giving you guys my list for the top 10 worst changes The Walking Dead has made from the comic book series into the television series. And let's just say a lot of these are going to be from the Gimple era. So, yeah, let's get started with my personal list. So, at number 10, we have television Tyrese. So, yes, the Tyrese in the television version was not a good character in any stretch of the imagination, in my opinion, as well as Jamie Minecraft, who gave me this idea because, yeah, Tyrese in the show just did not live up to anywhere his comic version did. And what they did with him in the show was just a big disaster, in my opinion. At number 9, we have the introduction of the Hilltop and basically like how they made the Hilltop look from season 6 to 8. So it was terrible. I don't know if it was the budget, but Scott Gimple really messed up on how the Hilltop looked. Like it was such a disappointment in the show. So yeah, at number 8 we have TV Andrea. So yeah, TV Andrea is one of the biggest, worst changes the show has made from the comic to the show. Andrea was a beast in the comic book series, when she had the sniper rifle, but in the show they had her with the governor and she died back in season 3. Just I don't understand what they were doing with her character, and it was definitely a big mistake. At number 7 we have TV Oceanside, or at least, how they did it, and they brought Oceanside much sooner. So basically, yeah, from like season 7 to 8, I suppose. Just that whole Oceanside thing was just a big mistake. They served no purpose. They were not a good group to introduce so early. So yeah, at number 6 we have Michonne leaving The Walking Dead. So yes, this is fairly recent in season 10, and the reason I put it as number 6, I understand that the actress wanted to leave, so this is not Angela Kang's fault, but this is still one of the worst changes because you need Michonne in The Walking Dead. I just don't feel like it's the same without her. At number 5, we have how the TV series did the Alexandrians. So I cannot stand the Alexandrians in the show. Like, look at all these characters. Does anyone even know who they are? Like, the show kept around the Alexandrians for way too long and did nothing with these characters. You know what I mean? They never developed them. They never made them interesting. In the comic books, they were awesome characters, but in the show, they were just pointless and filler. At number 4, we have the Grady Memorial Hospital storyline with Dawn and the cops, and it was one of the worst story arcs in the show. And I just they were filler. They were just a terrible group of antagonists. One of the biggest. They were a big change from the comic and one of the worst changes in my opinion. And another terrible group is Jadis and the Junkyard Survivors. So, this is also a big change from the comic book series, and it was a terrible change. Jadis and her group of scavengers are the worst group that ever has been introduced into the show. So yeah, that is why they're number 3. They're a terrible group and very not interesting. So at number 2 we have them stretching the Negan arc to 2.5 seasons. So basically, from the comic it was only like 26. It was around like 26 issues, but in the show they made it into 32 episodes. So it was a huge mistake what they did in the show, just stretching that Negan arc for way too long. It dragged out way too much. And at number 1 we have the death of Carl Grimes. So this is one of the biggest changes from the show, from the comic to the show, and it's definitely the worst one because without Carl, like, what is the point of the show? We didn't have a lead. Like, just so many problems with Carl's death. Like, it resulted in many other actors leaving the show, and it was just such a big mistake. Like, why did they do that? From the comic to the show, just a really terrible mistake. And like, it makes no sense why they changed it from the comic that much. So honorable mention one, the disappearance of Heath, because yeah, Heath disappearing, he wasn't a great character, and having him disappear like that just is confusing people. And honorable mention number 2 is going to be how the TV series did Magnus Group. They're not incredibly interesting. Connie is interesting, but everyone else is sort of fillerish. Like in the comics, more than at least one of them was interesting. Like Magna was good in the comic, but in the show, she's not, not interesting. So yeah, I would say, they definitely did not do Magnus Group really justice, not 100%. So yeah, guys, that's it for my list. Let me know what you guys think of my list down below. And until next time, guys, take care. Bye.